And what do you want?
I want them to have their family and leave me alone.
Okay.
That's honestly what I want. Because at this point, even if I put in the back of my mind that I can have a relationship with them, I wouldn't want to be attached to that family. Not the kids per se, because again, innocent kids, beautiful kids.
No, but you just said attached to their family. No kids are attached to the family.
I'm just saying, but they come with
it don't
everyone
matter.
else.
I would never prioritize the feelings that I have for a bad relationship over my kids.
Respect.
That's the terrorist. That's just how I operate.
Yep.
I stand on that. I don't care if the mother of my child lied to me, accused me of abuse, tried to...
Did Tyler from Love is Blind just say the quiet part out loud? This just goes to show that some men will treat their children based on how they feel about the mother. Tyler look at those kids like they are an inconvenience in his life. He's never had a real romantic relationship with this woman that he has 3 kids with, that he agreed to give his seed to, because men like to procreate. So he's like, okay, y'all want to have a little me's running around where I can, just have my seed out there, and, when I'm not here anymore, my quote unquote unknown legacy will go on. That is the nature of a male. I mean, out in the wild, what does a male want to do? They want to pass on their seed into something to success them when they are not here anymore. So he's like, shoot, I could have some kids and I ain't got to take care of them. I ain't got to pay for them. That man is really mad because he got to pay child support to a woman that he was never really serious about, never thought about really building a real family with, a woman that he was cool with and had fun with and had sexual relations with, but with a woman that he's never saw himself building with. And now that he has his new fiance, Ashley, who now we can confidently say is a pick-me, is in his life, he's like, you think I'm going to lose this woman that I want to build a life with and have kids with? You think I'm about to lose access to a woman that I'm secure, financially secure, and I know she's going to hold me down no matter what and take care of me when I can't even walk no more? You think I'm going to give that up for some kids that I never wanted? For a woman that I never had real access to, and a woman that I never saw a future with? This is how a lot of deadbeats think. When they no longer have access to the mother, they no longer have access to having sex or a home or anything else, they cut off all access. They want to start over. They want to redo. And this is why they tell you mama's baby, daddy's maybe, because any way you bring a child in here, it's always going to be on mom. Society holds them accountable by putting them on child support, because that's the only thing that the government can do. And they're not doing it in favor of you. They're doing it because they know men are going to have sex. They know that people are going to continue to have babies with people and split up. And they know that it's a problem, and they want to benefit from this problem. They want to make money from this problem. That's why child support is in the system. They know men ain't gonna stop procreating and making babies out of wedlock, and they know that they're going to keep having children. So why not tax them for it? Why not get a bag out of it? But besides that point, when I heard a man say like a man only takes care of his kids based on how he feels about the mother, I think about my own situation. I have 2 kids and I co-parent. Is it perfect? No. Do we have disagreements? Sure. But at the end of the day, those men make sure that not only their children are good, they're very active fathers, 2 kids, 2 men, and they make sure I'm good. They make sure I moved into my home. They make sure I have everything that I need. I know for a fact if my car broke down, I could call my baby daddies to come and save me. I can call them to come and help me. If I was in any financial trouble ever, they know they have enough respect for me as a woman because they had relations with me. They once saw themselves having a future with me. And of course, the relationship didn't work out, but they will always still have that love for me. They would never want to see me suffer. They would never want to see the mother of their child suffer, because they love their child and they love the mother of their child, even if it's not in a romantic way. So this is just a go on to say, like, just be careful with your womb, ladies, and don't be an Ashley. Don't be out here being with a man that's like, oh, he could start over with me, because this is the thing. Ashley set that tone for Tyler, that she's not dealing with 3 kids from him. She said it in the show when she talked about them children. She's like, those kids. Now he's referring to them as those kids. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't sign up for 3 kids. So basically, subliminally get rid of them. And what is he going to do? He doesn't want to lose access to sex. He doesn't want to lose access to this relationship. He doesn't want to lose access to the woman that he wants to build a future with. That's why. And he's resentful because now this woman that he had an agreement with is now trying to hold him accountable and put him on child support and all these things that he said. But at the end of the day, this situation was doomed from the beginning, because once that man was going to find a meaningful relationship to him, he was going to desert that family. He is so detached from that family and from those kids. He don't want to have nothing to do with them. And this is how a lot of them think.
Is not this people pleaser good guy who helped Bri from the bottom of his heart. He's calculated, and he helped Bri so that she'd be indebted to him, and because she isn't, he's spiteful and has abandoned those children. I also want people to use their discernment and understand that his positioning of going on a Christian podcast to tell this story is intentional, because people are going to prop marriage up on a pedestal, and they're also going to feel some type of way about Bri because she's a lesbian. Let's start with him trying to insinuate that Bri held onto his sperm and then inseminated herself a year later. When you are so used to lying and getting away with it, you don't bother fact checking, because you know that you have enablers around you who are going to believe anything that you say. You cannot hold on to sperm in a freezer at home. You would need a cryo tank. She didn't hold on to his sperm. He slept with her and conceived the twins. He just doesn't want to say it, but he knows it, which is why he tiptoed around answering that question directly when he was asked multiple times. Not only does he want us to believe that she inseminated herself, he wants us to believe that she inseminated herself while she was going through a divorce, knowing she was already going to be a single parent, knowing that there was a potential of her being a single parent to then 2 children if she had another one, impregnated herself on purpose, and then decided, actually, I want an abortion. At one point, he said, if you let me sleep on your couch, then I owe you. And then he directly went on to say about Bri, I helped you have that life. I helped you keep that life. There is no way in any right state of mind that you should be on any platform talking about me. You wouldn't have that life if it wasn't for me. I mean, you could have kids, but not those specific kids. He wants her to feel that she owes him, and so she won't say anything. And he's frustrated that she came out and spoke. He said something along the lines of, how do you have this private life, but you have a public verified page? He's feeling burnt by the fact that she's being well received, and the children, their story is overshadowing him and this love story that he wants to be portrayed of him and Ashley. People are focusing more on the fact that he's abandoned his children and he's a deadbeat than this loving image that he wants us to believe in, and so he's furious. And this whole interview, he was spitting out his dummy and making it very clear that he's not happy that it's not going the way he wanted it to go. He had the audacity to say that the public are the ones who are forgetting to protect his children. They're your children, sir. You are the one who's supposed to be protecting them first and foremost, and you and your wife exposed them to danger. You lied about them on national TV, continue to lie about them, then fed your wife lies to go out on interviews by herself to lie about how your children were conceived and the relationship that you had with them. You forgot to protect your children. It's also interesting that he keeps forgetting timelines about how his children were conceived and how all of these things happened, but he remembers every single detail about Bri and her dating life and her dating history and what she's doing and her whereabouts. Very interesting. He doesn't talk straight on purpose because it's selective. When he wants to answer a question straight, he answers it. When he wants to avoid a question such as how the kids were conceived or things about his ex-fiance, he chooses to skate around it. He said that he has a way of telling people what they want to hear, but it actually is telling people what he wants them to hear. He used this example of someone he was dating in the past and how, she came over to his for a few days. He made her feel like it was going to be something more, and then he dipped. And he made out like, he was telling her what she wanted to hear, and, maybe he was in the wrong for doing that. You were definitely in the wrong for doing that, but you weren't telling her what she wanted to hear. You were telling her what you wanted her to hear so you could get the benefits of that. We've just seen Nick Cannon come out speaking about how he does this with the mothers of his children so he can get what he wants, how he knows how to put on this image of this perfect guy so he can get what he wants. It is selfish. This is not for the other person. This is not people pleasing. It's self-serving. Even when he was asked the questions about his ex-fiance, and Lateris was saying to him, were you engaged when you became a sperm donor, and did your ex-fiance know about it? And he turned it into a whole like, people are saying she left me because of that, but actually she left me because I found her cheating. That's not the question that you're being asked. You're being asked a direct question. Were you in a relationship with your fiance when you became a sperm donor? Yes. Did you tell her about it? No. Latarius had to ask him that question about 5 times before he answered it because he's used to getting away with it. And the fact that he was so comfortable to go on this interview and do that shows me how much the people around him aren't really asking him the real questions, because he looked like he was expecting to get away with it, but he wasn't. He also wants us to be mad about the fact that she wants child support and that she's not begging and pleading for him to be a dad in their life after he's decided to abandon them. I'm not mad at that personally. I think that's a very good idea. Get the money for the children so that you can continue to raise the children away from him. I personally would not want a man who speaks about my children like that, and a woman who also speaks around my children like that, to have any access to my children that was unsupervised. I would want the courts to order it to be supervised and to ensure that my children are going to be safe if they're going to be around them, because I would never feel safe with my children being around people who have such disdain towards the idea that they exist. He doesn't care about his children. There's absolutely no emotion there for them. I wish those children the absolute best. I hope that they get the child support that they need so that they can have an amazing life with their mother and their stepmother and their extended family of siblings that they have got as a result of the marriage that is about to come with the mother's engagement. And I hope that being raised by those 2 women allows them to have an amazing life, a better life than they would have had with him as their father and Ashley as their stepmother.